The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It's Monday, October 20th, 2025, season 21, episode number 61. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. All right, today we talk Cowboys. Big win versus the Washington Commanders, 44-22, doubled them up. And it was a good day all the way around for a lot of different players, a lot of different units. We'll get into all of that. We'll start where we normally start on a Monday, go around the table. Tell me what you think the story of this game will be when we look back years from now and think about Week 7 of the NFL season in 2025. Voch.
Man, years from now, boy, Flus was listening to us, man. Flus been watching the show. He's ready to turn this
After
thing
the
around.
game, when he gave you that little shout, like, yeah, I don't know, the little sign he did. I thought it was for you, right? It was for you, right?
Derek, if we look back at this in years to come and go, this was the game where we made all the adjustments on defense and we weren't as bad as we thought it was. Boy, we're going to win some Emmys when the Cowboys win that daggone bowl. You hear me? Because the offense is what you think it is. The offense.
Are you talking championship?
I'm a homer, and I always come out. You know, I'm not as objective as some of the other people at the at the table. But how I feel though, Eagleton.
Right.
How I feel though. Somebody left some money on the thing. How I feel though. Derek want that money.
Man, people so rich they making airplanes out of money around here.
Derek take tips, but I always thought that when Dak and the offense and these guys talk about the standard, the offensive standard, it sounds like coach speak. It sounds like, oh, it's just that what they supposed to say. But the same 40 points that they put up on a weird team, they put up on the Green Bay Packers team, and they put them up on this team. So the offense is going to do what it's going to do every single week. So if we look back at this thing and say that these are the adjustments that sent the defense into a middling defense right around the middle, boy, we're going to look back at this and be like, well, it's a fantastic championship year we had.
All right. Amber.
See, I'm not ready to get too delusional, but definitely exciting win for sure.
Delusional.
Delusional. Sorry. Yeah.
Un poquito loco.
Crazy too.
Un poquito.
A little bit.
No, but definitely exciting win. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about everything that happened in the game here shortly, but let me go back to the offense. And yes, this is something that we have continuously seen it throughout the season so far. But the way that this offense, the way that Dak has been playing and managing everything and just the beautiful balance between the passing game and the running game, it's just so impressive. And that just makes me, again, we've talked about it before, I just hope it's not another wasted year. I hope that you're right on the defense and the changes that we saw, because again, it only takes that one play or two, potentially three, but it's that close for you to continue to win based on the way that your offense is playing, based on the amount of points that they're being able to score. Deron Bland, he's back in shape. He's back to 100%, and more so than just that pick six that he got, the way that he was playing, and I had concerns. I'm like, okay, well, now without Trevon Diggs in there, what does it look like? But, man, the pressure that they were creating and the way that other players took advantage of that, I'm very proud. I've always believed in this defense. I've had their back the whole time.
Amber, if you say that this defense continues to play this way the entire year and this offense continues to play this way the entire year, what do you think the outcome of this season will be?
I'm giving you my ring size. Yeah.
So how come when I say it, I'm delulu, I'm crazy, muy poquito delusional.
Bryan, what's your point?
Loco. How come I'm all these things when I say it?
Because that's you every week.
Yeah.
So
because my foresight
no, we
is
gotta
correct.
be rational on this show.
My foresight is correct. Please, Brian, tell her what I
Go
just
ahead,
said.
Brian.
You agree, huh, Brian?
No, I'm not getting in a fight with you on this one.
It's all right.
I'll tell you this. Though. Is it my turn to do this?
Yeah.
Are we
Yes,
good?
your turn.
Okay, I didn't know if I had to step in.
No, we're
Everybody
good.
leave ain't talking about nothing.
He brought his hunting gear to the show today.
Yep.
No, you know what? This defense got bullied last week. They got bullied in the running game, is what happened to them last week. And with the Commanders coming in, they were down their receivers. So you felt like, though, this is a team that even with receivers was able to run the football. That was kind of their identity. Everybody talks about Cliff Kingsbury as a play caller. And his identity is he wants to run the football. He does it with some creative ways of doing that too. And if you look at overall, after what happened to Dallas last week up front defensively, you'd have to say, boy, that was a big bounce back for them after watching that tape and kind of figuring out some things. I was really worried. I should say I was very concerned. I'll say worried too, about how the Commanders were going to come in here and they were going to test you. On the radio yesterday, I called this a game of stand up or get the hell out of here. Yeah. That's the kind of attitude I think the defense played with yesterday. They did a really nice job with the front. Some of the run blitz stuff, the fits were far better with that. And Krosky Merritt is not an easy back to have to deal with. The Commanders had back some of their offensive linemen. They were full strength. Sam Cosmi was back in the lineup, and they went after him yesterday in the run game. He really didn't get second level. He didn't get any down blocks that he normally gets. All the things that you kind of seen the Commanders do very well running the football. Dallas had an answer for that. The quarterback runs and stuff like that, those things are going to happen like that. But when it came down to having to handle this running back, they did a really nice job for it. And a tip of the cap after how bad they played last week.
Yeah, we will get back to that, and we'll talk extensively about that run defense in the second and third segments. But I want to start with the offensive side of the ball. Dak Prescott yesterday continues to have a marvelous season. He's 21 of 30, 70% completion rate, 264 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, which, again, very, very proud of the fact that he has 0 interceptions, and then 130.4 rating. Speaking of which, after the game, Dak was asked, what's more impressive to you, the number of touchdowns you have this year or the fact that you haven't thrown an interception? And he said he thinks they go hand in hand, but then he was like, to be honest with you, I didn't know how many touchdowns I had. I do know I don't have an interception. And he said from that standpoint, I think that probably answers the question as much as anything else. How much do you guys put on that Dak it's not like he's being very conservative, because a lot of times you get a quarterback that's so concerned about not turning the ball over that they end up dinking and dunking. They won't really take the shot. But he's throwing into some tight windows, making some throws. That throw he threw to Pickens yesterday down the field. That one, and they just put it on TV where he just dropped it in the bucket. Yeah. There was no separation between him and the defender. It was just a perfect throw and really great catch by Pickens. But talk about Dak and him taking care of the ball while at the same time remaining aggressive and taking what he sees as opportunities.
Dak is very surgical, I would say. It's interesting, and I'm not going, because people laugh when I do this, but, you remember how a couple of years ago we were just saying, man, Brandon Cooks is known to be a deep threat. How come he can't be a deep threat here, or like the same with Turpin and things like that? I just think that Dak is, for whatever, I don't know, maybe they call him the plays different or something like that, but Dak had time to work on his connection with Pickens, right? So, like, it's really personnel, too. I think him and Lamb have always been here, but I think, we don't want CD to be hurt at all, but that time away gave Dak a little extra time with Pickens, and Dak understands, like, hey, man, even when you look coverage, you really not. So if anything, Dak understands, well, maybe I could just lead the ball towards the sideline a little bit, and Pickens can catch something that maybe somebody else can't catch. Maybe a 5'11" receiver can't catch, and this is just Dak understanding his weapons. I think Dak has played 3 games with the Cooper, Lamb, Gallup combination, but for the most part, it's always been 2 of those guys. Like, he's never had all of those guys. If you just look at by the twos, like this duo, that duo, this might be the best duo that he's ever had. So just him being confident in himself, confident in his system, shot is not getting in his way, and most confident in those guys that he's throwing the football to. Why not? Why not be more aggressive? Why not try things downfield? And he ain't missing.
Yeah, I think it's the system, and I think it goes back to what Brian Schottenheimer has been able to create as far as providing the right amount of comfort, providing you to trust the system, the play calling, because I think that when you truly buy into something, when you truly believe something, you're going to feel that confidence, and you're going to go out there, feel confident, and know that, hey, this player is going to be there. I know I can trust that guy. I know I can trust Pickens to be able to catch that ball. He's going to catch it most often than not. And it's just that relationship there. And you see also the relationship between Pickens and CD and that wide receiver group. It's contagious. So I think that just continues to build trust. And Dak, he's just trusting his receivers. He's trusting his arm as well and making those choices. There's no hesitation there, as opposed to before. You see him kind of like, oh, where am I going to throw? And then you see the big wide eyes, like kind of panicking a little bit. No, now he's completely confident and comfortable
dancing
there.
Before the game.
Yeah.
40
Party.
seconds. Yeah, 40 seconds left in the half, and you get the ball on your own 28. And all of a sudden you take a 7-yard sack. Most previous regimes would probably just let that thing run out.
Yep.
Yeah. Your head coach called a timeout, and then he launched a bomb on the other side of the field the very next play. And that got you right back into where you needed to go. That's all you need to know about what this play caller's doing, what this head coach is doing. Yeah, I hate how sometimes he uses timeouts. I loved how that timeout, though, because you would have probably, like I said, after that sack, you'd said, okay, let's be fine. We'll go in the half. But no. I mean, and the Commanders drove the ball on you to get to that, to get back in this football game. You answered right back before the half. But the fact that he used a timeout right there to give Dak an opportunity, and then Dak took advantage of it, Pickens took advantage of it, and then the next play after that, you get the long run from Williams. We've seen 2 out of the last 3 games. So all of a sudden now your coach still having an aggressive mindset because he knows his quarterback finds ways to deliver.
Let me ask everybody this, if y'all don't mind, and we can ask people in the chat also. Do you think that last week we as commentary people, right? Do you think that we made too big of a hubbub about how the wide receiver room is going to work out? Like, hey, how are they going to get Floyd past, Turpin past? How are they going to get, Tober? How are they going to get all these guys involved? And we just watching the game. Fantastic game by, Dak or whatever, but it was really through CD. It was through Pickens, and Ferguson got his 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Besides that, the rest of the guys didn't really get involved too much. Is this us, or was that us just kind of overthinking how are they going to get somebody extra involved when in real life Shotty's like, I'm just going to get the ball to the dogs, and we just going to win like that?
Well, I think that I'll speak for myself.
Please.
I never really thought that it would be about opportunities for them as much as it was just who's going to be the guy that's going to have to sit is what I thought. I didn't think you needed to have six receivers active because, as you just said, you got your dogs, right? You got 2 guys that are as good as, in my opinion, this is the best wide receiving core in the National Football League right now. I have no problem saying that. It's the best, especially with the quarterback playing in the way that he's playing. I don't think there's anybody that's even close to him, because you would say the Eagles, they're not getting the benefit of that right now. I think they got really good receivers. It's just it's not showing up. So I don't think it was ever about the total the guys that were going to be getting opportunities to catch passes as much as it was going to be who's actually now going to have to sit down because they don't need all these bodies. That was the harder decision for me.
Yeah, I think for me is I know the guys I want them to be in there all the time if possible. Obviously, you're going to have to get guys in and out, but Ferguson, Lamb, Pickens, Turpin, I want him there. But then now you talk about, okay, the Tolbert of the world. And going back to him, yeah, and again, when you're talking about wide receivers, not all of them from top to bottom are going to have a great day where they're getting the ball. That's just not possible. But with Tolbert, the interesting part, and I thought he might be the one where maybe you kind of pull him back. Sure. But then when you watch him in plays that the ball is not being thrown at him, but you see what he's doing around that, you're like, okay, I understand why they're keeping him in the field. And it's the nature of, as a spectator and viewer, when you see Now,
Flo.
Now you're throwing me
Bryan.
off. I know how to say his name.
19.
Flanoy.
Flanoy.
No, Flanoy.
Flanoy.
You're brainwashing me to call him
just saw him
Flower.
outside.
No, he's not.
I just saw him outside. Shook his hand and everything.
But when you see someone like that have such a good game, your head and your mind just automatically goes into, whoa,
Miles
crap.
Larson, yeah.
We gotta put him in. How are we gonna put him back into the field? Right now, you got no issues. You got no issues. If anything, you can trust that guy if needed once again. But I'm so excited about the whole group.
We made a big deal about it. We did.
Bryan Trumbull.
We made a big deal about it. We really did. You're not wrong. We made a big deal about it. We were trying to figure out how they were going to dress 6. What were the roles? We're being very mindful. We're talking about, well, what does Mingo do if you bring him back? What does Tolbert do? What does Flanoy do? Does this guy play special teams and all that? You could even throw Ferguson into this mix now. I mean, they just the 2 wide receivers and Ferguson and then everybody else, but they've kind of found ways. We saw with Turpin had a nice catch along the boundary. They faked a jet sweep to him. They throw the ball to him. He makes a guy miss. Tolbert had to play down the field. Yeah, we do. I mean, they have an idea how they want to play these guys. And I'm just every Sunday or Monday or Thursday, whenever we start playing these games, whatever receivers they decide to dress and for whatever reasons they decide, I'm going to trust them to do it because I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I thought, well, hey, you got to do this or you got to do this. No, they have a plan for how they want to play these guys. And I think the quarterback does a great job of when they're open, he throws them the ball. Now, unfortunately, though, you have a couple of these guys out there trying to block on the end, and then they get holding calls. You can't have those kinds of things happen. But, yeah, I admit, I made too big of a deal last week of the wide receiver room.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, let's dive into this offensive line and Javonte Williams. Let's talk about the run game, where they found successes, and also there was a little bit of concern at the end of the game, I think, with regards to the number of hits that Dak had to take yesterday. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. We're in the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. The segment brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, we're talking about the Cowboys' 44-22 win over the Washington Commanders. They pull to second place in the NFC East. I think 2.5 games. I get mixed up with these half games. I think it's 2.5 games behind the Eagles. Either 2.5 or, I think it's 2.5. They're 2.5 games behind the Eagles because the Eagles did get a win yesterday. But they are in second place in the division, and we'll just see where it goes from here. Let's talk about the running game. Let's talk about the offensive line. Let's start first with the running game. Javonte Williams, 19 carries, 116 yards, a 6.1 average, a touchdown. Looks like they got the running game back on target. Jaden Blue got a little time at the end of the game, 7 carries, 29 yards, a 4.1 average. Where did they find success in the run game? What did you see in the run game that they were able to kind of take advantage of in order to get their running game going?
I think your right guard being back made your right tackle much better. So that means you just have a whole side of your line that was much better this week than it was in previous weeks. And shouts out to TJ, man. TJ did his time, and we asked him to do some things, and he did those things. But Deron Payne, like, it wasn't just him whooping a rookie. Like, it was some fighting in there. And Booker did his thing. Booker helped Hoffman, and the left side did their thing as well. Javonte saw things a little better too this week.
Did.
Last week he just didn't see it all that much. And it could have, these emotional games. Sometimes you want to go out there and just run folk over. Oh, I'm not gonna let Rico outrush me or something. Sometimes you just run yourself into nonsense. But this game, composed, and he saw it better, and he dragged some characters 30 yards down the field, so that helped as well.
Yeah, it was a much better game as far as there wasn't the penetrations that we'd seen last week, and physically they got beat up. We talked about Dallas's run defense got beat up, but their offensive line last week got a little beat up too, with Brown and Robinson and Brown doing a number on you right there. And it can be difficult to have to deal with pain. I think the injury too with Dorrance Armstrong going out of that game pretty early kind of helped the Cowboys situation. But up front, they did a much better job of winning the line of scrimmage. The combo blocks, the single blocks that they had to have. Guys were staying on their blocks. Some of the stuff they tried to do, we mentioned the outside running game. That was going to be key in this. They got the ball to the edge. It's unfortunate they had a couple of holding calls where this thing might have been even better. But it was from a offensive line standpoint, it was much more well blocked than it was last week, and that was because, again, they were able to handle the power inside of, I think, of this Commanders group, especially with Payne. Trying to keep the ball or keep him at bay, it could be a difficult task. And they Booker in there did a really nice job. Him, Hoffman. You look at Tyler Smith, even Guyton as well. Usually, sometimes Guyton will struggle a little bit with that, but overall, they were really good up front, with able to win and play on the Commanders side of the line of scrimmage.
When you look at the offensive line and how they played specifically in the passing game, they did only allow 1 sack, but they gave up 5 quarterback hits. Where was the pressure coming from? Who was having the most problems yesterday? Obviously, without Dorrance Armstrong, that was their best, as I think coming into the game, probably the guy you would say is their best pass rusher. Where were the problems coming from on the offensive line when it came to pressure?
Came from I think one came from Payne, I believe, Bryan. Yeah. That was on Booker. Booker kind of missed a little bit.
Missed him, yeah.
And I want to say that the other was just kind of, I don't know, did somebody just get beat get beat flat out?
They struggled overall though with, like I say, as a line. When you looked at though, the thing with Booker was a little bit of an issue there. You mentioned Payne was able to, they got him on some movement stuff too. It was a problem, with that. And so, but Dak does a pretty good job when he drops back. The one, like I say, the one that was really the clear one, the sack was unfortunate, but the one, like I said, he's done a great job of when there has been pressure. Yeah. And we're talking about the Booker one. He sets, but he gets swum quickly, and so now he's kind of in a bad spot. But the movement up front continues to be a little bit of a problem for these guys, and hopefully, because say you got Hoffman. I mean, he's a veteran guy now, and but just passing all that stuff off has been a little bit of a problem there for the team. But man, that throw that he makes the throw to the outside to Pickens on the out for about 10 yards, and he's literally gotten pain. He's wearing pain as he's throwing that football. So, yeah, across the board, this group is always going to struggle with that. They're always going to give up one or two pressures. Sometimes we mentioned what happens with like a Guyton. Bobby Belt and I were talking about this last night when one of the pressures happened. Guyton tends to, because he's not sometimes he doesn't see himself as a strong guy, and so he'll lean. And when he leans, then you get forward, and now these guys get around him like the Frankie Louvous and people like that. So he's got to be a little bit more conscious of like setting, being more patient, and then not allowing those things to happen.
Yep.
I think, I'm so appreciative of what the coaching staff has been able to do with this group of guys, because I still remember very well the times and the years where you get one guy that comes out and all of a sudden the whole line is unable to protect Dak consistently. So when you mentioned that, obviously, yeah, ideally you want zero quarterback pressures, but at the same time, when you know what the past has been, and you look at the way they've been able to protect Dak this year with all the in and out, like the guys that have come out because of injury and then come back in, all the shuffling around a little bit, I think it's impressive. And I'm so excited to see what the future holds for this group of guys once they're able to stay all together consistently and healthy. And all these younger guys too, to see what the future holds for them, because we talked about Tyler Booker the other day. I can't wait. I can't wait to see him like year 2. And I can't wait all these guys to kind of have a full year under the belt of them being all together. Yeah. This is going to be a very dominant line for years to come for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. When we come back, we'll flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Lots of storylines there for us to hit. We'll do that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. We are in the final segment of the break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Yesterday, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill, as they call him, in the first half, 9 for 28 yards, 3.1 average. For the game, he was 13 carries for 33 yards with a 2.5 air average. Defense did its job yesterday against the run. My question for you guys is, what was the difference in the rush defense yesterday? And is whatever they did yesterday sustainable as you go forward into the season?
They were sound in their gaps.
Yeah,
they were simply gap sound, and they didn't get pushed all over the place. I think that's a big part of it. You can really chalk a lot of this up to they played much better individually than they did last week. Clark didn't get pushed around. Osa didn't get pushed around. Your edges contained really well. I mean, it was just one-on-ones. They just won up front. Last week, just an abomination. I mean, this is a much better offensive line than it was last week. I just don't understand how Carolina, did what they did to you. But as far as this week, it just seems like they just locked it up in practice. And maybe they had a physical week in practice, but they just didn't lose the one-on-ones up front.
Yeah, you get some 9 men in the box bits this week.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fine. We're going to lock up on the outside on a man. We don't think that McCaffrey can win against you. We don't think, they clearly, but going into this game, I'd say clearly they played a lot more man coverage. And Shotty even gave you a little bit of hint in the post game about it. He said, he was talking about, hey, it dictated that's what you're going to do. And we've talked about this when we broke this thing down for you on Wednesday. We were talking about this guy against man coverage is like a 50% passer. Against zone, he's almost 70%. So that dictated that, hey, we need to think about, okay, minus some receivers, great. This guy was still a 50% passer with all the receivers there. I mean, that's what it told you. So for them to play more man coverage, it doesn't surprise me. When you look at analytics, that doesn't. How they played it, how they played the run, I thought was really good. They had some run blitzes. And a couple of times there, when Dallas is bad in run defense, we talk about fits. All of a sudden, why is Sam Williams flying down inside and nobody's on the outside, taking that? You look at one of the early runs in this game, though, Sam Williams coming down inside. It looks like Sam Williams was kind of on his own. Everybody else was slanting the other way. Maybe Sam went the wrong way. All of a sudden, Maris Leofau, he has to play 2 gaps. The linebacker inside has to play 2 gaps, and there's that hole. But they were much better when it came to attacking, whether it was James attacking, Murray attacking. They did a much better job. It was a great game. Here I am, very, very critical of our guy from South Carolina, our veteran guy. Clowney, yeah. And I'm sitting there. It's just amazing how you forget a name, Clowney.
It's all right.
But it just pops out of your head.
Yeah.
But Clowney, much better game for him. Much better game of him like chasing down from the backside. Much better job of him when ball at him or him having to do the run stunts and things like that. Mm-hmm. Much better active game of him. And that's really what it came down to. You got guys like Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas, the way he wins quickly, and then now he's in the backfield, and then the back has to make a decision like, okay, the back tries to run away, but then it runs right into where there's other guys. So they did a better job of getting off blocks, playing their fits, and then tackling when they needed to.
Real quick before you go, Amber, Solomon Thomas, actually, you mentioned him. He reminded me this week a lot of what we saw last week from Carolina. Like he was just punching through the offensive line, and it just creates chaos. Like it creates bad situations because the running back now is like, where am I going? There's indecision, and then allows other guys to get there. And I was like, that's what they, I think, have been missing a lot in their running game. And because typically what we've been seeing these last few weeks is they get on those defensive tackles. They are moving them around because usually they're double teaming at least the 3-tech.
Right.
And then what happens is now you got a clear shot to go get the linebacker. The linebacker has no shot against an offensive lineman in a lot of those situations. No. And it just creates these huge gaps. And I think yesterday that penetration really made a difference on several plays.
Sam Cosmi was poor his first game back, and we all know what Tyler Broaddus is as a second-level blocker.
Yep.
It doesn't always happen.
Yep.
Took advantage of that.
I was going to say, Voch, you mentioned how the players, there's that dance video that went out on social media, and you see Dak and Milton and everybody Pickens dancing around and all that. Well, the same thing is happening with the defense. And I'll say this. I don't have anything against these guys. If anything, I love the group of guys that we currently have. But if I'm being 100% honest, when I'm standing there on the sideline watching, especially after last week's performance, and I see someone even doing a dance move or even a smile, I'm like, why are you smiling? In my head, you know? I'm like, what?
You wave your finger.
What are you doing? Like, what are we doing here?
So mean.
Mind your business, okay? I don't tell you how to think, okay?
I can never talk to Derek like that.
This is what goes through my head
That's facts.
when you're bothered by a certain performance. My point with this is I saw the defense acting that way with high energy before the game started, during warm-ups. And it goes to show, what Schottenheimer, because again, he's the lead of the group out there, but even Matt Eberflus, the way that they've been able to maintain the energy high, because right now morale could be very, very low for these group of guys where now you're seeing that reflecting on the plays. There's no way after last week to be, it could have easily go downhill very quickly after last week. So credit to the coaches to be able to create that environment for these players to continue to have that energy high, to go into the game, start the game at a high energy level and continue to fight and play. And it was, I think, we saw it. We saw it in the game as a result.
I don't know how you could sit in that locker room on the defensive side of that locker room and look across those offensive players and think that, like, what are we doing on our side of the ball?
Yeah. Right.
We cannot. Even Clark, Kenny Clark said it last night. Hey, right off the jump, he says, hey, we got an offense. We have got to find ways to get stops. We've got to find ways to get off the field. We got to find ways to get them the ball back. To a man, the defense is talking about the offense. It's the front office and the coaches that are talking about the defense, But I don't know how you could sit in that and not say, hey, we've got to pull our weight. We've got something very potentially special on that side of the locker room. We need to figure out things on our side and get this thing back on track.
Yep. The one of the things that I noticed yesterday, I think we all noticed, was defensively in the secondary, they did change up the personnel a little bit. Maybe they changed up a little bit from a standpoint of man and zone. I'll ask you guys about that. But what do you think about the idea of bringing Jaqueezi Bridges in, putting him on the outside, playing Bland more in the slot with Kyrie Elam there, knowing that, again, we didn't have a chance to talk about it because it all broke late on Friday, but they were going to be without Trayvon Diggs for this game because of that. We did talk about that. It popped up during the show, actually.
Yeah.
But without him,
my segment.
Yeah. Without him, they were still able to kind of do some different things in the secondary. What do you think of the changes that they made there and schematically what they did or did not do in this game versus other games?
I think if they're going into this game and saying that they're going to play more man, and let's just be clear on what more man means. If last week it was like 9%, I believe, this week it was like 50. It's probably like 47.
It was a lot.
50, yeah.
Like half and half. So if I had to guess, the coaches are saying if it's in the game plan to play more man, and Shotty was alluding to the idea that we're playing man because that's what Washington is bad at, so that's why we're playing man. I would assume that they felt like Weezy gives them a better opportunity than Reddy would. Reddy's like a zone guy, tackles well, all this kind of stuff.
And just to be clear, Reddy in the slot.
In the slot versus Weezy outside.
Yeah.
So if their mindset was, okay, and then Trey is gone now. So our best man guys are Weezy, Bland, and Elam, then the best combination to run those guys out there is to put Bland at nickel and Weezy be the outside guy.
Yep.
So what do you do when Trevon comes back?
Let me tell you what Derek Eagleton's taught me in this short amount of time. On my personal YouTube channel, Voch Lombardi, I could be very irresponsible. I could be very.
I like the shake from Bryan. Like
I could say
pretty true.
I could say some irresponsible-ish sometimes. But what I've learned from Derek, and he's never like reprimanded me or nothing like that, but I just see how he moves. And Derek will be like, "Well, I just want to be fair and not say nothing because I don't know for sure. So I don't want to say nothing because I don't know if Diggs is in trouble. I don't know if he's not. I don't know if Diggs is hurt for real. I don't know what's going on. So I just want to wait until I get more information before I make a statement about Trevon Diggs and what happens with him.
I'll make a statement here.
Damn.
No,
And then he turned his head when he said, I'll make a statement, player.
I'll make a statement. No, they need Diggs to play.
That's
They
facts.
really, really do.
You really need him to be like
Yes.
that dude that caught 11 picks.
Absolutely.
You need that dude.
I mean, I'm hopeful that Diggs sitting out of this game, and unfortunately, he'll have an opportunity to stand up in front of the media and give his side of the story, and we'll all, take note of it and all that. But they honestly need him to play. You saw what I hope that he sat there and watched that game yesterday and saw Bland's pick six and Wheezy and all those guys and Elam cover. I hope he saw all that. I hope he saw, Donovan Wilson put on an elbow brace, after, big brace after he got hurt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he sees that. I hope he wants to be a part of that. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but I'll tell you this, though. The guy has talent. He has talent, and he can cover. And when he's locked in and ready to play, he can do the job. They're going to need him. We were talking about trading and getting rid of him. Now, if the front office is ready to move on, that's their deal.
Sure.
But as long as he's here, man, they need him to play. And they need him to figure it out. And hopefully he saw that yesterday and wants to be a part of that.
Yeah, I will say, yesterday after the game, Jerry was asked about it, and he said, look, it was an accident. I accept that it was an accident, and we will move forward whenever he's back. And I think it's to your point, Brian, I think this front office knows that they are better with Trayvon Diggs than they are without Trayvon Diggs. So whatever. I have no idea what the circumstances were behind that. At the end of the day, they are a better team when Trayvon Diggs is on the field than not. And I think this season, I think it behooves them to get him in the fold, get him healthy, and say, get out there. And I think you get him out there with Deron Bland. And if Deron Bland can do the things that we've seen him do in the past, and if Trayvon can do the things they've seen him do in the past, and if the defensive coordinator can put them in situations where they can do what they've done in the past, I think this defense can, again, just be okay. Just be good enough to not waste what the offense is doing.
Yeah, you had a situation where Bland was playing down in the box. I mentioned some of those 9-man box things. They have Bland down there playing, and Bland's down there trying to tackle.
And he was tackling well.
And that's the whole idea right there. You need all 11 playing that way, and Diggs gives you a chance. You have to find a way. He has to come to it, or you have to go get him, but you're going to need him down this stretch.
It's crazy that we have yet to see Diggs and Bland have like a good amount of time of them playing together on the field where they're both fully healthy. Like, it's been how many years? I feel like it's been 3 years since. Wait,
Bland got paid, so this might be year 5 for him.
The point is, it's been a long time, like, of us waiting around to see
they're
them
hurt. One of them was hurt.
be fully healthy.
It seems like
just kind of
somebody's always hurt.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. The foot or the knee, it's been a struggle.
I think there's a lot of people down on him right now, and I'm one of them, but I ain't gonna say it on the break. But I think Trey could just shut everybody up if we take this opportunity where we're playing a lot more man, and it may not be half the time, next game. It may be 30% man this time. If he goes out there and shuts down Cortland Sutton, catches a pick, and this offense can go out there and do what they do, and this defense holds the Broncos to 19 points or something like that, then we'll leave Diggs alone. It's a week by week thing. We could
not wrong.
We could fuss all we want.
No, you're not wrong.
We could fuss at Diggs all we want.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because I'm definitely gonna do it on my show, not on the break.
No.
But if he goes out there and he takes care of business, and
you're right.
And the Cowboys get another tough win on the road, I ain't gonna say nothing to him.
I feel like I'm asking him right now.
Please.
I feel like I'm asking
Please
him
grow
to do
up.
that.
Please don't whatever happened to you.
Because I think they need him to play. I do. I think that he has got that kind of talent to help this defense. If he's locked in and committed, and they're locked into trying to help him get better and put him in positions, and they want to play more man with him and try that, by all means, go for it.
Your team needs you. So whatever you was doing, boxing, skateboarding, bungee jumping, it's the regular season. This is very important.
Just fell out of the bed.
Fell out of the bed. Whatever. Derek's a lot more responsible than me. But the team needs you, player. So if you don't mind.
Hey, they will definitely need him this weekend. That Denver team, and we'll get into this on Wednesday, but that Denver team yesterday put up 33 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah. They had a bad game and still came away with 33 points in the fourth quarter to win that game in Denver. Dallas will be traveling to Denver. They will need their defense to play well.
1995.
They will need their defense to play well in order to win this game.
I was born. I was like 3 though.
It's going to be one of those days. All right. We appreciate you guys, Jumps. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have Bryan. We'll go inside the brain of Bryan Broaddus. He'll have some questions for us. Yeah. And we'll
Derek
get some
won't
big
be here
picture.
tomorrow.
I will not be here tomorrow, but Amber's going to hold it down, I think.
Okay.
Y'all be good to her.
Sorry to
you
break
be good
it to
to
you.
them.
Sorry to break it to you.
Ambar is about to chill 45 minutes while me and Bryan ramble, and we going to stop at 45 on the dot.
But I'll be back on Wednesday. So till then, for Voch, Lombardi, Bryan Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?